All right, Chance, let's just wait a few more minutes and see if somebody else comes in. We'll get started. Thanks for your patience. My bad. Sorry, I was actually muted.
I was trying to get in, and then whenever I came in, I thought something was going on.
Yeah,
Again.
you're okay. It's my fault. So let me backtrack and do that whole scene over again. I do apologize. I didn't realize. So let me even get out of this, because that means then nothing I said was heard. So the first thing I did was I came in and I looked at the announcements to just remind you that I will be posting the video for today's session in the announcements. And then I went over to the weekly overviews and I clicked on the project article approval deadline, because Saturday is the last day you can get your article approved for the project. And remember, if you're in lecture and lab, you have to have 2 separate articles because you have to write 2 separate summaries, okay? And so to get your article approved, you have to send me the full article as a PDF file. So download the article and attach that PDF to an email. Do not copy and paste the article into a Word document. That's what some students have done. You have to download the full article as a PDF. And the sources that I gave you in the project details allow you to download the full PDF. So you should not be copying and pasting, okay? If you email me your article, I'll take a look at it and tell you if you know, yes, you can use it, or no, and here's why not, okay? And 11:59 p.m. this Saturday is the cutoff for that. Once that time, once that time runs out, I won't approve any more articles, okay? So if you want to, go and look at the information that I shared on the type of article that you need to be looking for, or how you find that article, in the project details under the directions, it tells you exactly what you're looking for. It tells you some sources for finding it, tells you how long it has to be, and the deadline for getting it approved, and how you get it approved, okay? And so next Wednesday, we'll move past this idea of finding an article and getting it approved, to start talking about what you have to do in your actual summary, okay? So we'll start talking about that on next Wednesday. But let's first make sure that, we've given all of the time that you're allowed to find an article and get it approved, okay? Any questions on that? All right, so let me go into the weekly overviews again. And then click on the momentum overview. And here we are with this week's overview, because this week you'll be doing an experiment, writing a lab report, and having a discussion on momentum. And so in the course of completing the experiment, the post-lab, and doing your lab report, you'll be looking at things like, what is momentum? You'll be using momentum to calculate values. You'll also be looking at the law of conservation of momentum. And of course, all of that will come into play as you work through the experiment, write your lab report, and complete the post-lab discussion, okay? And so just to remind you, if you need some materials, kind of backgrounds to refresh yourself, I've given you access to the chapter 7 in the CK12 textbook, which is the lecture textbook. There are some videos, and that visualizing collisions actually goes to the simulator that you're going to be using for today's experiment, okay? So you have on your plate by this Saturday to complete the experiment, to write the lab report, and to complete the post-lab discussion. Remember, whenever you're doing a discussion, you need to post your responses first and then reply to 2 of your classmates. Right? So to complete the experiment, you need to go out to this simulator website and notice there are various settings that you can choose from. Okay, so my suggestion is that you play around with it, get knowledgeable about all of the various options, and then when you open any of the options or each option, make sure you turn on the various bells and whistles or click the buttons and make, so that you have those various features enabled. Okay. Once you've done that, then my suggestion is that you play around with it a bit and get familiar with, the various types of collisions, elastic versus inelastic. You can change the size of the objects, or you can make them all fixed size. However, you should try it out to see what happens as I change these things, because remember, that's one of the questions you'll have to answer in your abstract. As you modify the settings on the simulator, what do you notice about the values that it's calculating, or the variables involved? Okay. And so after you have played around with the simulator, got comfortable with it, then you're going to use it first on an elastic collision so that you complete the table and answer the questions. And then as an inelastic collision, complete the table and answer any of the questions that you're being asked. Okay. And just so you're aware, to make it elastic versus inelastic, this is the slider. Okay. All right. But you can actually, hold on just one moment. All right. Sorry about that. Let me go back into it. All right. So again, you can control the elasticity on this one. You can control whether they stick together or not. So you have to, try it out so that you become comfortable with the various values that you can obtain as you manipulate things in the simulator. Okay. Any questions about that? So after you have completed the experiment handout, you're going to write a lab report. Now this one is one where you don't have any error analysis. You don't have any error analysis because you're using fully the simulator and you don't have any comparisons to make. Okay. So under the what you found, you will strictly be discussing something that you figured out about how the simulator works as you change the values. Okay. And then don't forget under how you did it to give the website, because otherwise, how will students know where to find this simulator? Your data and analysis is the completed experiment handout. And then your conclusion, you should tell me something that you learned about momentum as a result of doing this experiment. Okay. What questions do you have about what goes in your lab report? Okay. Reminder, here's a link to the submission instructions that tell you, the proper formats that you need to use to be sending items to me when you email me your lab report. And then finally, you'll have a post-lab discussion where you answer questions that deal with momentum, and then you respond to two of your classmates regarding what they've posted in the discussion forum. Okay, any questions? All right, so as I always say, if you're working this week toward completing either finding your article or any of the items you have to do for the momentum overview, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me. You can join me for office hours. Just reach out to me and say, hey, I'd like to have an office hours visit, and we can schedule some time to get together. I'm happy to help. I just need you to reach out to me so that I know you need help. All right. So I'm going to stop share now. Connor, Chance, do you have any other questions that I can address for you?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, again, I'll post this video in the announcements, and I do apologize for not unmuting. I'm so glad that, I did notice that pop up in the chat. I'll try to be more aware in the future that, and unmute before I actually start sharing information. So if you don't have any questions from me, we're done. Have a good evening.